What's up, everybody? I'm Scruff Dog, and you're on board the bench. How is everybody today? Sup, Joe Russ, Mr. Beardy Man to me. Hello, Lockwatcher. Hello, everyone. Hello to the early crew. Phil in the Kitchen, Joe Russ, and Gas Smasher have been around for a little while, as Franco Walker's been here for a bit too. What's going on, Rob? Captain K, Lockwasher. How is everybody's weekend going? Gonna be pretty honest with you here. I really didn't do much this weekend. I hung out in my hammock for a while. Then I slept in my hammock. And then I pretty much got here. It's an interesting week. Lockwatcher is working on rebuilding his 3D printer. What are you rebuilding? Are you changing motors or just getting everything tweaked? Oh yeah, Rob there has a touch of the Rona. So he's been a little off. Hold on. Let's make the world a little more level. Okay. And I'll just stand like this to compensate now. Hey, Chronic Gaming, thanks for stopping by. So this week we are going to continue on the jump box thing, and we'll actually do something with the Weston 785. Turns out that thing takes two batteries. A 15-volt battery and then a D-cell battery. Apparently if you put the D-cell battery in, a lot of the functions will work, and the 15-volt one is for, I believe it said mostly for very small measurements. So we'll see what happens. I've got 2032 around here somewhere. I got some brand new ones up here. That way we don't overcurrent that old thing, and we'll see what happens. Jeff is okay. He's just fuzzy, happy, and fat. All the kitties seem to be doing pretty good. Let's see. Oh, happy oil day. It's 7:10. Meaning vape. There's the kind of blocking my own view here. Actually, you know what? Why don't I move this over here? Because I don't need to see the end stream button for at least an hour. So I'll put OBS over there today. Actually, I'll even be a little efficient with this space. Let's squish it up a pinch. And you know what? And then we can move that over there. You have no idea what I'm doing. Don't worry. Do that, and then I can have you guys are all big as shit right in front of me. Bam. But yeah, 710 oil, vape, cannabis. So let's do our first cheers. That will be to Mr. Furbear. He is up and down, back and forth with what he is dealing with. So I'm going to do a double toast. This is Green Crack, Sativa, and this is Runt's Hybrid Focus. But I'm going to do a double toast to Mr. Furbear. Hopefully he can get his situation progressing and sorted out and stuff. I'm not exactly sure if he's back home yet or not. He was, but then he wasn't, and then he was. Like, it's a thing. So, cheers to Mr. Furbear. Get well soon. Damn, I was on top chat. See, if Fur was here, he would have had his thing to make me switch to live chat. I didn't miss too much. Sunset sherbet. That's good. What they had here about a month ago, that was going around. It was a really good sativa. And cheers. We'll do a liquid cheers to those suffering in shitty situations around the country and around the world, especially in Ukraine and all that fucking chaos. Alright. Alright, and I guess the last order of business before we begin. Actually, I guess a couple more things. With summer here, well, no, not cheers to chaos, like against, like, making it stop. I may have said that wrong, I don't know. If I did, my bad, but cheers to getting past it. Cheers to the people that have to get past it, you know what I mean. My apologies if I said it wrong. Yeah, so streaming. Now that it's summer, I got a lot of projects I'm trying to get done. And having a stream every week is kind of delaying them, getting in the way of some of them. So I'm going to go back to every other week with a live stream. And I will try to do something in between, like either a produced video or maybe a quick short or some woofles. But I am going to go back to every other week after next week. Next week we'll go find some place to fly so that I can drop signal and fuck the stream up 1,000 times. Or we're going to maybe experiment and see what I can sort out and making the shit work. But wherever I go next week, it's going to be close to a cell phone tower. And we'll see what happens. Considering the last few streams have been pretty potato. The towers. The power towers at, for the Raven power station. They have now switched back to doing a dual demolition of both towers at the same time, so that apparently they don't create two gigantic coal dust clouds. They'd rather, instead of making two mediums, they just apparently just want to make one big one and be done with it. I get it. I'd probably do the same thing. As I imagine the cleanup efforts from both are going to be about the same, whether it's two mediums or two big ones. So, but they said, and now it's going to happen probably sometime in August, possibly mid to late August. I'm going to find out. That was from my buddy Steve. He updated me. He's going to let me know when he can. As far as I know, we're still going to be down to 24-hour notice. So once we get a little closer, maybe we'll get it narrowed down and we can have a rough window, but who knows. I know they don't. Yeah, definitely bigger cloud. Mavis may have to run. Right. It might be early August. Apparently the biggest delay is just trying to figure out how to keep the dust cloud down, because with that much energy, like wetting the shit down is only going to do, like, you know, that much to really help. So I don't know, maybe they'll put a giant tent and we can watch it pop like a balloon. It'll be interesting. It'll definitely be dirty, and we'll see what happens. Should be cool. Even if, at that point, even if I got to be far away because they have a temporary flight restriction, if they're doing both, it's going to be twice the boom. That just means it'll be easier to see from far away if it has to be far away. Wonder if it's better done in rainy but still weather. I think at that point the problem would be all the runoff water and all of that soot and coal just going in and just wrecking the fucking water drainage system. And it is right, I mean, it is, the coast is right there with the river. So I imagine they're trying to avoid getting all that coal and, you know, any more coal dust into the river as well. Maybe they can get them to hit each other. That'd be funny. Watch them bounce off of each other. And cheers to Rob there, Franco. Rob, you a little better. You don't know how much water would really help, but I'm not a demolition guy. If I break stuff, it's usually on accident. It usually doesn't involve explosions. Can Mavis fly in the rain? Yes. If it comes down to it, yes, lots of people have flown Mavic Air 2s in the rain. If that happens, I obviously won't be flying her over water just in case something goes wrong. And I would have to tape up the battery. That's the only weak spot, is where the battery clips in. Not the greatest design, because if water gets into the cracks, it actually, the natural place for it to pool in the design is right where all the contacts are. So you got to seal up the battery pretty good. They actually sell a raincoat kit for a Mavic Air 2, but it's like $100. Try to avoid flying in the rain, but a few minutes with some electrical tape I think would suffice if I have to fly in the rain. Hello, Brenda Lee. Welcome. Happy Sunday to you. Alright. So yeah, what'll end up happening as far as the every other week now thing goes is it'll be a stream, whatever happens in between, and then, you know, like it'll be a bench stream and then a drone stream, bench stream, drone stream, just be every other week after, starting after next week. Oh. And let's see, anything else? I think that's about it. So let's hot glue around the gaps. No, not quite that much. I don't want to risk damaging the plastic. And I do need to get the battery back out. Alright. So, let's go there it. So we're back to this thing. I got all the screws out. And let me do something with focus here. Properties. Focus. A little bit higher. Alright, let's try that. Alright, let's get all the stuff off the top. So this is the jump box we were looking at a few weeks ago. Power cable. Magnetic CB antenna. The microphone. Charge cable. Mini whip antenna. And if I'm not mistaken, I did cut this down to proper wavelength for 27 megahertz. And the solar panel. And this is a little divider. I'm not sure why it's loose, but it might be loose because I never really attached it. Alright, so let's kind of put that there. Well, you know what, let's turn that upside down so it's not generating too much electricity while we're doing this. And I want to spin this around. Since those cables come out of that side. Where are we at here? Big project. Now, and as if need be, also, I guess I'll show you real quick. Let's see, okay. We are ready to go. We got all the cameras, so we got the shoulder cam, the microscope is waiting, and then the other two cams. Both. Alright. Let's see, let me pull up the properties. Oh no, that's already up over there. I can just leave that right there, can't I? Yes, I can. Holy shit, I didn't notice that. I think that's new. Cool. Chill, right there. Stop. Alright. Yay bigger. August. My own live chat. I am on live chat. Yeah. So here's this. I got all the little mounting screws that were like, and over here and over here. So now we can actually get into it. And basically all I did was, as I unscrewed it, I held it with a magnetic stick, the nut and the washer on the back. So I guess a quick review before I pop the top. There's 2 lead acid batteries in here. GMRS, like family radio frequencies. Speaker for that that has, I think you can do stuff like upgrades and charge with that. Besides that, I also have 12-volt charger, which you can charge the batteries. Currently it's set up, you can charge both lead acid batteries through that port. Quick charge 3.0 with a voltage readout. Plug-in charger, fan to cool the whole case, fuses. I really didn't label anything, I gotta get better at that. A clip for the CV and all your switches, solar controller. Let's see here. You know what, I don't want to turn it on because everything's loose, so I don't know what metal's touching metal. But we turned it on the other week, you saw all the good stuff. FRS radio, that's it, family radio system, is that what that is? Something like that. And then there's like GMR, there's 2 different ones in the States. I'm pretty sure this has both of them. So the point of what our project is, if you weren't here the other week, is I want to make this lighter, more efficient, because it has 2 lead acid batteries in it right now, and that just kind of makes it really heavy. I mean, granted, the 600 watt pure sine inverter also makes it really heavy, but you know. Let's see what we have here. I don't know what's connected where. I have, like, after I got the screws loose, I didn't even try opening this, so we may be figuring this out. Alright, I gotta disconnect the battery, looks like. Alright. Okay, what else do I gotta disconnect here? Oh yeah, I gotta get the CV out, because the CV has stuff on it. Plugged in. Get the power cable, the antenna. Or external speaker and antenna. And then here's the power. The little guy. Does really good. It's a MXT115. I don't remember how much it was, but I remember it being like a pretty good deal for everything it does. Let's see what else we got here. We have a big ass power cable. Let's disconnect that. Can this only go? That can only plug in one way. Very good. Over here we have some crimped in shit. See, this is power. Alright. We are getting somewhere. What a mess. Let's see this. Oh, okay. There's the charger. Let's unplug from the inverter. How's the charger? Oh, and the charger is unplugged. Alright. I made it modular. Whew. So I'm not gonna. This I gotta see, because this may give enough power and current to charge the lithium cell I'm building. Okay, here, let's switch to the shoulder cam. L key plus head. There we go. So you can see solar cell is still attached to it by this cable here. That's the only thing that isn't unpluggable, and that's fine. But here's that charger, and actually a pretty decent job. I'll get you, there's like the preview. SB connector. This is a 175 amp SB connector, or Anderson connector. Where does that go? Oh, okay. Used in like a lot of industrial high current, low voltage applications. 1 second, let me get this antenna out. Without blowing anything up. Alright, cool. Let me put that over there. Let's go back to the down on cam. Let's see what's up with chat. So off-grid, power bank, radio base station, basically, yeah, and charge station. I was considering, the reason it's got 2 batteries in it was I was going to also make it a jump start pack, but I just kind of never got around to it. But we'll go with this, and then we'll go back to the panel, which this is all going to get changed anyway, because the battery I'm building is about half the size of one of these. So I may actually redo it if I reuse this case so that it's recessed in and just a little easier to deal with. But we'll see. So this was I spliced into, here, let me switch cameras. So this connector here is what I used for, see, it looks like 2 things. Okay, that fed power ground, battery ground up. That was 2 feeds going to ground, like a double, so I guess I was just using both pins for twice the current. And then these 2 wires go over to the inverter power switch. I opened it up and tapped into the inverter. Again, let's see. You can almost read that. This is a Power Bright 600 watt pure sine inverter. A few weeks ago, I hooked it up to the there we go. I hooked it up to the oscilloscope, and it was a damn nice sine wave. So here is this mess. So this is the bracket for the CB radio. This was some shit I threw together to hold that up. And then all the cables I had to make. These batteries in here don't look like they're in bad shape, so if they're not, then I'll be able to use them for the power, the APC UPS for my router and computer in the other room. Well, actually for the router, I don't think the computer would, I don't think it would handle the computer. It's like, what, 300 watts, 400 watts? Alright, so there's that. I don't, what all is holding this together? Power cables. Is there a bracket in the bottom? I feel like it's mostly just this bracket here. Alright, well, let's see here. cheap ass tools I keep in the house. What do we got going on here, buddy? I guess we got a little bit of shear tension on there. Let's see if we can get this out. Oh, it's kind of hung up on that washer. Is that it? Yes, let's drop random hardware into places where lead acid exists, and that's not even magnetic. But it's grab at it. I don't know, never mind. Let's see here. Come on. Ah, it's just really stuck on that washer. Alright. Let's see if I can just pry this damn thing off. Guess that's the only size I had available. Come on. That's better. Try not to drop it. Yay. Toit. Ooh, the keyboard. Alright. Does anything actually hold? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I built a slot system on the one side, so it held it. This bracket here held it there. Then right there is a slot that the other bracket sits into. That's right. Let's see. So there's your 175 amp SB connector. And battery connections, which let's see what we can do. I'd be fine if we got the batteries disconnected safely, as it were. I ain't disconnecting this until we can get this connector. Where is my... there it is. Very good. Alright. Little 20-year-old Craftsman kits. Is that an 8mm? Put that anywhere. That should work. So you break this connection, that's gonna make it a lot more safe. If the oh yeah, alright, cool. Not yet. Oh yeah, I guess these wouldn't be magnetic because I'll probably use stainless steel. And I know the battery terminals come with stainless steel. Okay, so now that's our dangerous connection. Let's see if we got... There we go. A little less dangerous. Now I feel okay disconnecting these. I got that at 10. Yeah, I agree. They're Lockwatcher and Franco. And you go back and you go, wow, I did it like that. I'm feeling pretty okay about this one. But yeah, I have definitely had a couple times where I've gone, oh, my bad. It's when you kind of want to walk around being like, who approved this? Wasn't there someone around to tell me to shit it? Alright, so now we have, okay, that can stay attached to the inverter. We can short those together for a show. Let's see. Can I just tip these batteries? Is this done? Yeah, okay. So there's, oh, there's even a model. APS 600-12. 600 continuous, 1000 watts surge. And it really is a nice inverter. It has taken some beating. I've put 500 watts through it, and it barely even sweat. So definitely recommend a Power Bright. There we go, a Power Bright inverter. This will be going with whatever this ends up becoming. I gotta find a place to put it. Oh, really? I gotta expand my shop. There. Ah, okay, what we got here? We have a leaf. No one, I know what to do with this. There we go. A leaf. And back to that. Alright. Ooh. Found a washer. Okay, let's see. That is loose from that. That's connected to that. And that. Can I just pop these out? Well, I gotta take these off anyway, because they will no longer be needed. Just drop that. Pay no attention to the background noise. That happens with youngsters. Putting all the hardware on my mouse pad, because, I mean, where else do you put it, right? One bracket there. This one out. Looks like a cicada wing. It did kind of look wingish. Don't know if I actually purchased hardware for this or if this was all just recycled. Because I don't know if it's all stainless steel or a mix of metals. Whoa! Drop that bracket directly on the power button of the computer that is sending this stream out. Not a good thing to do, generally speaking. Alright, this is Heavy. Leave that there. But now it's an 8. I think that's an 8. That is an 8. How tight did I make these fucking things? Busted out the SMA torque wrench on this, I guess. Get the fuck on there. Don't worry, folks, I'm a highly trained technician. I forgot how to use a fucking wrench. And pliers. Let's undercut that one. There we go. It's just a weird angle. I think that's good. It might be metric. It may also just be the 8mm and 5/16 are basically the same. And 3/8 and 10mm are close. But it could be that the battery hardware came in metric and then I grabbed standard stuff from like Home Depot or who knows. Man, this thing is on there. Jeez. Alright. Remember, always cut towards your face. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't cut towards your face. Or as the actual expression goes, cut towards your buddy, not your body. Love that shit. Alright, so that's decent batteries, I'm gonna tell you that much. I'm only gonna have the setup I'm building is only gonna have about 25 amp hours. But it's only going to be about this big. And it'll be lithium ion because I don't need, because I put 2 in for the extra jump start output. When I originally thought I'd be using this as a jump pack as well, but I'm not going to need that. And I can run all that stuff off of 25 amp hours for plenty time. So this, since it's nice and in like relatively good shape, it's 6 years old, according to the date. No, wait a minute. No, yeah, it's like 6 years old. But I mean, I give it some like a bit of a load test, see what it wants to do, and if it's good, then I might as well take them both and put them into a that APC UPS, and then I'll be able to have half of my network on multi-day battery backup, because my main router and my fiber optic box, you know, wall wart box, big ass box thing, those are on a battery backup with 2 31 series tractor trailer start / deep cycle batteries. So like if the power goes out, my fiber optic and my main router are good for like a week. But I don't have any backup on my other routers currently. So I'd like to put that one on the secondary router. well, yeah, what I'll call the secondary router, because the other one is basically a secondary as well, but it's running a common subnet with the main router, whereas the router I want to put this pack on is my personal router. Actually, this laptop is plugged directly into the main router right now, because the little... Here, might as well show you, it's not like it's doing anything. One of my classics that I have sitting around, but it's pretty much taking a shit. It will, it cycles through. Bam, who remembers this old ass thing? DRI 655. Anything more classic than that? It's a WRT 54G, and I got one. I have a lot of those around. Nothing within reach, but there's one over there. But yeah, this thing has finally gotten to the point where it loses connection like every couple days. But I've had this for quite some time. Does this have a date code on it? It doesn't. Nothing obvious, nothing I can read, but I mean, this thing I'm guessing is 15 years old. Somebody might want to let me know. That is definitely a classic. But that was the third subnet, but then it started failing, so I just unplugged it and plugged the laptop right into the main router, which is fine because it doesn't hurt having that little extra horsepower for these live streams, since I'm uploading it 40 megs a second. Let's get that up there. Piece of tape. Anybody falling asleep yet? Classic junk. Have you used this to charge Mavis? I have not. Every time I've charged Mavis, it's just at home the night before. Towards your bud, not your pud. Nice. That metric adjustable wrench. That's right. Always use that smart wrench. Keep them by, you never know. Let's get let's get this other battery out. Just do that. And let's get the CB mount off. Then we can just get this box out of... Oh, wow. I use Nylox? Holy shnikes. I must have been desperate. Ooh, not even close. 10? Not even close. 9? 9mm, you know, because that's common. Remember, never set your metal tools on a battery. Because you might blow up. My house and next door are on different circuits. If I get a power cut and they don't, and vice versa, I can go there for a couple. That's cool. Yeah, we are. I've seen that in a couple places. Our neighbors behind us, sometimes our power goes out and theirs doesn't, and vice versa. And that's when you start seeing extension cords flying. Alright, let's see. This is like this. Actually, I don't think it matters which way. Yeah. In case you mount it top or bottom. So there's that. What time is it? 1:04. Wow. Well, we missed poo on the 32, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Do as Scruff says, not if he does. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright. Let's pull this out. Get these cables off, and then we'll go over to the control panel. Actually, no, I'm not going to set that there, because then the cats will jump into it, and there's spiky things on the bottom. So, I have a feeling I'm going to make a new case. Because that really is pretty beat up from lugging around 45 pounds of shit for so long. And these are really cool pliers. I don't know why. I find them generally to be more useful than regular pliers. Just kind of putting that out there. There's a Trenty. Hold on. Hey, Trent. If you remember Trent from one of the past streams, she's the black cat. She just came downstairs and promptly walked by. The last time we saw her. Remember, when you're doing cables, you shouldn't have so much copper near each other, because also it will blow up. I'm impressed I even put these on. I'm guessing only because they came with the batteries. Or I was just really trying to do it right, maybe. Guess that happens sometimes. This is a lot to take apart. I don't know why that's taped up. Must have been close to something metal. I think I just headbutted the camera. I did. Maybe, yeah, it's a little... Camera's a little weird. It's on a different mount. I'm kind of cobbled together and trying out. God damn. Alright. Batteries are safe. I'll put them on a charger to top them up. And then I will load test them. I guess probably tomorrow. Make sure they're groovy. And put them in my UPS. Maybe make a quick little produced video for it to fill in some gaps in the next few weeks and whatever and stuff and junk. Alright, we have just enough room. Let's do a poo. That sounds great. Let's do a poo. Let's see here, there's a lighter. We're just gonna have to start the poo right in the middle. No more surprise. All right, everybody. Cheers. Cheers to Rob and Furbear. Get well soon. I love the follow-up. Now that our inner 2-year-olds are entertained, hey, there's a Trent. Hey, Trenty. Did you come to see the poo at 30? Poo at 52? Trenty. Meow. Yes, I'm wearing Beavis and Butthead jammy jams. Alright. Trenty's a good cat. Now where's that? There we go. Ooh. Hey, Trenty. Alright. She's kind of hanging out. Now let's go to this monster here. Alright, let me see if I can figure out how I had this wired up here. How are we in? Oh yeah, I guess you would probably like it if you could actually see, wouldn't you? Yes. There we go. Let's focus this junk in. Focus. Ooh. That seems okay. That seems horrible. We'll start there. Seems reasonable. Hey Steven, how you doing, bub? Watching for about 20 minutes, but couldn't type. I had a nice pizza to eat. That is absolutely a valid excuse. Let me put some of the stuff away. So here was that SB connector. I'm not sure why I did 2 8-gauge on that. I believe it's because I needed it to be very flexible to get around some corners, whereas this was a little stiffer, because I know I had enough of this cable. So that's interesting, but I feel like that was a space issue. Where can I put that? And these 2 cables made those. Made this one. Need space here. Solar cell should be okay. This. Oh, hold on. Let me put sockets. Clean up a little bit, you know. Need that stuff. I can go over there. Try not to break the glass. Magnet goes there. Burp goes there. Mouse, this pliers, and a smart wrench, and a pear tree. Alright. I'm going to grab a vape. I'm almost out of, what was this, green crack? Alright, let's see if I can zoom down a little bit. A little more? Oh no, that's all the zoom we got on this camera. That way, that way, that way. There we go. Alright. You know what, it's a wheel day. I'm going to do a runts as well. Cheers. Does that plug into your truck? That one be there. So we have, what's also neat about these cables is the way they're set up. They're keyed, so they're always going to be positive here and negative here, as long as you, like, you know, put the cables where it tells you to. That means whenever you plug it in, it's always fairly universal. So what do we have here? Let me get a pointy thing. So we got main power coming in here. Positive, that comes right to here. Wait a minute. Alright, that's... Hold on. How did I have that set up? Did that break the batteries in half? Let's see. So ground is coming in there, which is weird because I would think I'd have that on positive, which according to this I do. How in the world did I have that hooked up? That's weird. Like, hold on a sec, folks. My apologies. Because if you're going by this being ground, then did I actually hook this up backwards? As far as polarity? I don't think I was high when I made this. Because that would be battery, and that's battery, battery, battery. I must actually connected these up backwards. Where's this connector? Huh. Wonder why I did that. I don't know. That's weird. So anyway, okay. So this is our big ground right here. The ground for the inverter just went straight from the batteries to it. The positive, however, came through here. Let's see that. Oh no, that's what it is. I use this unconventionally. That's right. These are both positives. That's right. This is positive battery coming in to the main disconnect. This is the positive battery going back out to the high current side of the inverter. Got it. Alright. So that also might be why I use dual to differentiate it. That would make a little more sense. So, okay. So on this one, ignore the positive and negative. They're both positive. Just one's inbound, one's outbound back to the inverter. Because all the grounds I just tied together, everything was on. All switches, I always do positive switches. I know industry standard nowadays seems to run positive and switch negative, but I'd rather switch positive. That way I'm removing possible current faults along the lines from rub-throughs and stuff, because I'm the tech that's out in the field that sees all the wires rub through and fuses blow and computers get eaten because they run positive through everything. And switch ground, they really should stick to switching positive. Anyway, rant over. So, big battery power coming in here. This is why I started labeling my mods, or it takes me too long to suss them out. Yeah. Let me repeat, I always like taking things apart I built and don't remember building in the way. Yes, Rob and Locke, yes. You must have wanted some 12 volts on that. It was separate from your 120. Yeah, actually, I didn't have a light in here. I had thought about it at one point. So, this is coming in through this fuse here, which is a 600 amp fuse off a forklift, just because I thought I was eventually going to be using this for jump starting. This breaker here I think is only rated for 300 or 400 amps. It might be more. I don't remember. I'm sure whatever it said it was rated for, I made sure I cut that in half. So that's your main breaker. Pop that open. We have a 130 amp breaker going to this disconnect switch, which, if I remember right, was rated for 100 amps or 100 or 150 amps. And then that feeds big power down to the inverter, and there's a little piece of positive. Yeah, and that little piece of positive runs over to a little situation I have set up with the fan. The fan is set up to turn on to cool the cabinet if the CB turns on or if the inverter turns on. So that would be for that. This wire here is up to the solar panel. Okay, so after you throw the big breaker, that's the big power back to the inverter stuff. Then your main system power then comes over here to here. Then that pops out, runs over to these two circuits here, which I have combined. So they are both carrying current to the same power bar inside of the fuse box. And then from there we have each one of these circuits here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then ground. How did ground tie? Oh, ground tied in through this. So again, ignore the positive and the negative. I just did a dual ground because I didn't need this for anything more than the power supplies and the CV radio, so no high current. So ground came up into here, did its thing. Or no, I'm sorry, this is the charge. God. This is the charger. Where did my ground come up? Oh, here it is. This is where my ground came up. That's right. These two wires. That was for switching the inverter on. We already covered this. That's right. These two wires were ground. This is to the plug-in to the wall charger. So grounds came up and those kind of went to wherever they needed to go. You got positive coming over, and those, see, some go to the switches over here. This one was for the radio. This one is to turn the inverter on and off. Or no, I'm sorry, this one's for the power banks. This is the inverter. Ooh. Power banks, inverter, and CB. And this just plugged into the inverter directly. I did run ground, as you should. And there is some interference protection on there. I got this plug out of a power supply. So there's a little bit of protection in there as well. Never hurts. Like I said, the fan is wired up so that if anything that uses high current turns on, it will turn on and run. And that's pretty much it. I built this, I guess, about 6 years ago. 5 or 6 years ago. Worked good. Just need to build a smaller battery for it. And see, this isn't bad. It's a good charger. If it puts out a high enough voltage, then I may still use it. Because the BMS I have for the battery is 12 volt 100 amp output. I think it's 10 amp input to charge, but I mean, this will be good enough to start. If it gets up, it should hold over I don't know if it's going to hold the current, if it'll detect the BMS and put enough current into it or not. I mean, if it doesn't, then I'll just sort that out. That's easy enough. I can pump in, I can get 14 volts into it one way or the other for it to charge. Oh, the solar. I didn't really cover anything on the solar, did I? Let's see, where are the wirings for that? Yeah, one of the fuses is for the solar panel, the solar controller. No, right now it's not going to be putting out enough power to turn anything on. But, yeah. And that was just a inexpensive little dude that I got off of, I guess, it may have been off of eBay. Whatever, a 2410 pulse width modulation solar charger. 12 volt, 24 volt auto select, 10 amp, rated for 10 amps of current. Well, this says 2017, so maybe it was only 5 years ago I made it. But that worked out pretty good. The panel itself is just a little guy. I guess is not going to sustain you for a weekend, but it'll give you a little something just to help keep you topped off. This was just like a cheap Amazon one that I got obviously a long time ago, but you know, it did stuff. Well, there's just stuff everywhere. Now I gotta figure out where to put all this stuff. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to redo all this once I get the battery sorted out. I do still have the rest of the plexiglass I used for this. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll salvage it. And just my new container will continue to use it, because it's not a bad setup. And I put a decent amount of work into it. If I could preserve it, I guess it wouldn't be a bad thing. Maybe label it if I do. You know, fancy shit like that. Alright, let's see, the solar panel is attached. Cats are chasing each other. Let's see, kind of in a knot here. Oh, there's a washer. And back here. There we go. Let's see. Kind of feel like I want to put this stuff back in the box. Just to protect the cell and just to have a place to put all this stuff. Let's see. This travels as a unit. Then we have this stuff. Oops. I'm charging up my pin there. I have it set up, since there is a limited amount of space, it has to be turned on to charge, so you kind of got to watch, because it's not a load sharing charger, which just means as long as those lights are on, it'll keep trying to charge and charge and charge, and it might hurt the battery a little bit. But that's why you just check the voltage every once in a while. Guess I'll just hang this up for now. It's a USB-C charge cable. CD stuff over here with the battery, all these cables, the rest of the CB stuff. A zip tie. Zip tie. Let's see, let's get the box. Get the box! Ah, crap. Let's do this just off camera. High security shit here, you know? Wow, that hinge almost flew off when it flipped up. And this one's not working. Probably do the correct code. And no, it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Amazing. What's this thing? It's a lot of luggage. Sorry, Spaceballs moment. Alright, let's put that in there. Let's put that there. Does this fit in here? I imagine it should. Maybe. If the brackets weren't there. So maybe if I did it like this. Oh snap. Come on. Oh, get the charger out of the way. Alright. It's kind of wedged in there now. I'll put the cables on in. There's no power in here, so I don't have to worry about blowing anything up. Yeah, might as well send that in there too. A little gold mine power cable, because we all own 5,000 of them, and they're all far away. You know how that goes. Alright. Let's put it here for now. Oh wow, yeah, I did bump my camera. Oop. Oh, wrong piece. That. Yeah. What piece moved? Huh. Oh, I didn't. That's not because I'm zoomed out, you bonehead. Dang it. I hate when I do that. Let's stick another like thing here for the zoom box. Let's see. The proper zoom box is... Well, it's really not that much zoom, is it? Alright. Just messing around, not trying to bore everybody. Let's get that back out. Focus. Alright. Let's have a little sip of coffee. Dr. Pepper and cream soda, says Lock Washer. No moderators, we are self-moderating. Yeah, there's like 2 moderators on the channel. Okay. I'll get back to this puppy here in a moment. Let's have a little puff. So, pretty sure we all saw this. If not, this is the Weston 785 industrial circuit tester. This is 79 years old, and it was gifted to me by someone I work with who is quite awesome. It's almost as old as they are. So here's this, and last week when we took it apart, we discovered there were no batteries in it, which is good, because no batteries means obviously no corrosion. And we saw what looked like a spot for a battery, and then another spot which we didn't know if that was like for a fuse or some other thing. Well, it turns out this takes 2 batteries. If what I read correctly was, well, if what I read was correct, a lot of the functions will work with just the D-cell battery in it. And apparently the 15 volt was for other, like, less common functions. Like maybe only half of this will work or something. Alright, so before I flip this over, has anyone in this stream not seen the back of this on the last one? Go ahead and just kind of wave or say hi in chat. Just so that I know. Ooh, that's a little stiff. Wow. The ohm adjuster is a little tight. That's working. Let's see, we're going to do DC 10 volts. DC volts. Resistance doesn't matter. The ohm adjuster is frozen solid. DC volts is up there. Lock watcher hasn't seen this. Okay. Probably ohms measurement. Yeah, I'm guessing voltage just self-powers. I think they said the 15 volts, I don't know if they said it was for current or for resistance, but I would think the D cell battery would be all you'd need for resistance. So I have one. I don't even know if it's any good. I believe this has been sitting used before March of 2019. Okay. Still a volt and a half, so let's see what we can do. Let me get a 2032, because I wasn't kidding. That is the first. Oh, actually, I got some slightly used ones from work, because this is, you know, how you store batteries. These all came out of, remember the lanyards? If you were here, I was telling you about those safety lanyards we have. Like I got those infrared sensors out of. These came out of those once they failed. I took the batteries out because the batteries were still good enough. At least for LED testing and little bits and bobs here and there. So this will be our, what we'll test it on once I figure out how to get leads to it, I guess. But alright, let me zoom down here, focus, and we'll take another look inside this sweet ass sumbum. Let me get the focus up a little more. It's out of focus now, but once I flip it, it should be better. Actually, let's back that down a little bit. Alright. Glare, glare, glare. Alright. So, here we go. It is attached, so I have to be careful. That's where the 15 volt battery would go. This is hand craftsmanship that you just won't find anymore. Because you know damn well this was all done by hand. So apparently this is where the D cell goes. Ground, that's supposed to be negative and positive. They said you would differentiate it that because the positive has that little U bracket on it to hold the positive terminal in place, whereas the ground is just the head of a screw. So there's that. But yeah, this is all classic. I know some of you may have saw this last time, but I think we can all appreciate what we're seeing here. Even if this thing doesn't work, this is just an awesome piece of kit to have. transformer. Guessing that's AC. Yeah, AC volts. A couple different taps on the AC volt transformer. Alright. Hold on. God, that smells good. Smells classic, you know what I mean? Oh, and if you hadn't seen before, this is the original piece of paper for it. So, like, it's all there. It's a little fuzzied up, but... And this would normally be hinged to open, but it's missing hinges, and only part of the clasp is there, but that's easy enough to replace. So, I guess let's put this D cell in. Is that a signature on the back? Yes. Looks like E, L, now there's a slight, that might be a B? L, I don't know. Might be an EL or an EB or ELI, but yeah, that is a signature. So this person is probably the one that did this. So that person is awesome. And because it's 710, to that person, cheers. Cheers to... We should make an assumption so that we can give this person a name for us. I will leave that to you. Can someone give a recommendation of what that might be, and then we can refer to that person as that. Elum, yeah, it's kind of what it almost looks like. Elum or Eli. Were there any EB names? Elam, Elaine. I thought Elaine too. Elwood, Elwood's a yeah. We're not going with Elon. No, thought of that too. Elwood's a good classic name. I mean, that could be EL, and that could almost be a W. I'm not actually touching it. I'm above it. Eleanor. Yeah, I'm not seeing enough there. E. Bloom. I think we're gonna go with Elwood. I think we'll go with Elwood on this one, because that's kind of a classic name. So let's do cheers to Elwood for one hell of a good job. And we're gonna see if Elwood here did a hell of a job. We're gonna see if the people that gave him all this parts did a hell of a job and made it last. We just gotta watch these weird... This one ground wire, like, it is falling apart. Like, all the insulation is dry rotting off, so I just gotta be wary of that so it's not touching anything. Like, the positive wire feels like it's silicone, but I'm guessing it's just a very pliable rubber. And the black is completely just flaking off. But cheers. Not seeing an Ethan there. The squiggle weed, is that a shunt, I guess? A resistor. Yeah. That's off the, what's that, 10 amp lead? Yeah, 10 amp shunt, I'm guessing. Alright, let's put a battery in and, and there's supposed to be a little paper clip looking thing here to hold the battery. So I guess we'll do the best we can, assuming nothing goes weird when we... I'm going to do this so that I can kind of look... Actually, you know what? Hold on. let's do one basic check. When approaching an unknown circuit, do the bare basics and make sure that you're not plugging into a direct short. Wow, these leads, man. I don't know why everything's high resistance today. Let's see, that and that. So it looks like these are wide open. Okay. I guess they have little ice. See, it looks like there's a little cork, like cork paper isolators, but they are not shorted together. Yeah, you can't blame Elwood for the run. Nah, like that's not their fault. They have nothing to do with that. They did a marvelous job. All right, let's plug this battery in and see how Elwood suppliers did. Keep that ground wire. God, just trying to move it around. Just crunchy. Let's see here. Okay, snapped in. Nothing's on fire. Smells okay. Let's take a voltage reading. That should give us a hint if there are any problems. Nope, still at 1.55. That's where it was when we plugged it in, and I am on the terminals on the outside of the battery. I tell you kind of can't see. Let me move this. Can you see that? Everything's out of view, of course. So going to the screw terminals, we have 1.5 volts, which means we are not shorted. That's good. That is our ohm adjuster, which is seized, so that's gonna that may take a little bit of work, but again, if I can't fully restore this, I'm not going to be too upset. Like, just mostly want to get it nice and cleaned up, just because this is a cool piece to have. You know, and this ground wire is just like, where does that go? Alright, then I bumped the camera. Okay, there's no way that this ground wire is getting reused, so I'm just going to go ahead and snip it. Because at this point it is so flaking off everywhere that is going to be a problem. So I'm going to cut it here. That way the stub is still there. But this mess is not going to cause a safety issue or a short circuit, I guess I should say. I don't think this battery is going to blow up, but I don't want to burn any of this shit up because of fucking the shitty ground wire. Auto transfer. Well, yeah, I'm actually I have Deox. I'll spray. I'm gonna hit all of these with Deox. Deox is good on getting in that shit too. I'll try that first. These are, I love open switches like this. I love just being able to see it, not just be encased like this. I wonder if that's a replacement or if that is the factory one. Can't tell if there's a date on it. Doesn't look like it. I don't know that they dated pots anyway. But alright, let's see. What can we... Current ohms is down here. Volts is up here. And we don't have anything that resembles a power lead. Let me flip this back over. What is it expecting? It's definitely expecting something. I wouldn't even know where to attach on the back. I just hit the camera again. I wouldn't even know which one of these wires to attach to for these leads. I mean, I guess they're all common. But let's see what I can do. Oh, let me put this on the zoom box, see if that'll help. Wow, it's right up there. It's actually a little too close. Oh, let me unzoom it, maybe that'll help. Unzoom, zoom. Anytime you're ready. Hey, that's pretty good. Alright. I'm gonna do that so it's kind of like my head's almost out of the way. Alright. So we want to try DC volts. Everything's set up for it. What can I do? There's my lead set. What do I have in here? Let's see here. This is always easier with external tools. What size is that? Oh my god, it's like butter. It's like butter. How does these fit? Loose. Where's the other one? Cool. DC volts. Alright. I am going to have to find a actual lead kit for these, but I think that'll do just fine. And then positive and negative. Let's check our cell. Can you see? That's way off. Actually, is there a way? Can we get sneaky and put that right there? Alright, cool. So let's see what we actually have here. According to this, we have 0 volts. That's probably not right. Oh, probably help if we plugged them in. Otherwise, we are definitely dealing with a high impedance air gap. 3.7 volts. Alright. Let's see. Those Westons can be found on eBay for about 55. Yeah, I've seen them between 55 and 100, depending on the condition they're in. Which tells me, like, it's nothing special, but it's still pretty fucking cool to me. So, classic kit. I got some other classic stuff too, like older stuff that eventually I'll dig out, like stuff for work that I don't use anymore. I don't want to mess with that too much. Alright. So, shall we see if we can make the needle dance? See, if we're doing this right, that's, what are we on, 10 volts? So that should put the needle right about there. Alright, here we go. I'm just going to do a quick tap. Oh! Look at that, folks. According to this, we have 2.8 volts. Which might be right, considering this is putting a load on it. What the hell? Let's tag team it. Let's see how accurate this is. Can you see that? You can. Alright. Do this without shorting everything out. That says 3 volts. This says 2. Am I looking at the right scale? Yeah. 2.8 volts. That's fine. Oh no, a 79-year-old piece of kit is like out of spec by 5% or so. I think we can deal with that. Okay. So we know the voltmeter works. Don't want to do the current meter, just because I feel I don't want to mess with that. I think we'll skip that. I feel like that's the more risky thing, and we're not going to deal with the AC volts, because again, those two I feel are the more stressier things for a voltmeter, if you know what I mean. I might be completely off on this, but my main goal here would just be for resistance and those terminals are a little loose. One of them is, but I'd mostly just want to see resistance and voltage. See what happens if I short these out. Where are we at? Ohms, 3000 to 0. Oh, probably help if I selected ohms. We'll do R times 10. Manual come with schematic. Test an 18650. I will. I feel confident that I can do a high current cell here in a second. Ohm meter works. Let's try direct. 100. It's a little crusty. Ooh, that's a little, let's see. That's going to take a little work. 1000 seems okay. 10,000. I think 10,000 was what the 15 volts was needed for. Not bad. Gonna take some cleaning. That's cool. Yeah, I'll just work on it a little bit, might be, but I don't want to work it too much. Let's go back to this AC or DC volts. Can calibrate it for the leads too, yeah. Just some contact cleaner. Needs deox. You know, I got deox gold and deox whatever, the normal stuff. I bought that a few years ago. It's like, not only is it gold in a can, it basically costs as much as gold in a can. So hey, here's what we'll do. I'm going to slide this over a little bit. You can still see, yes. DC volts. DC volts on 10 scale. And we'll just slide this on over. Let's see, positive. Try to do this without shorting anything out. Guess we'll just go right to this ground here. Let's tap test. Okay. So we are charging, let's see, this says at maybe like 3.95 volts. So it was off by, what was it, 0.2 volts or something? So this may be just under 4.2. I guess this says, like, let's see, that's 3, that's 5 ticks. So this says about 3.97, so I'll say 4.15 on this meter for a guess. Let's see. No, it's fully charged, 4.2. It's alright. It's alright. I feel like there may be some calibration on this somehow. I'll have to look it up. besides this, like I feel like there's going to be other ways to calibrate this, but that's cool that it works. That is cool. It almost tempts me to do something with the current, but well, I don't want to push our luck. I may consider making a circuit to make this do something cool. You know, Friday nights, kicking back, chilling, gonna like go turn on your plastic piece of kit and make it do stuff. Maybe we'll put a little amplifier circuit on it. Audio amplifier circuit, just so that it hears sound. Boom, boom, boom. You know, the classic equalizer, thingy, whatever. What are they? UV meter? No, not UV. I don't know. You know what I mean. Note, the meter just measures voltage no matter what you're reading, volts or current. When the current meter is reading volts across dropping notes. Current shunting? The needle may be lazy too. They seem to settle down a bit when used. Yeah, I mean, moving it around may help, but it is good to know that the way it's moving, it seems pretty free. So that means if it's lubricated, that the lubricant is probably still in decent shape. But they may have, I know, like nowadays we use a lot of dry graphite on stuff like that. I don't know if they do that or not. I guess we can unplug it since we know it's done charging. Sorry, I caught a whiff of it. God, it smells good. Yeah, mate, but I'm glad the needle's in good shape. I'm glad it's working. That's cool. I don't have any audio junk laying around, do I? I'll figure out if I had access to like a speaker sitting close by or something. Where's my Bluetooth box? Oh, there it is. It has a speaker in it. Let's see. It was an old project I was originally going to make out of a old cheap, like $5 Bluetooth thing from like Five Below, you know, like cheap dollar store stuff. I was going to make this big extravagant traveling Bluetooth speaker, which I may still do, but now I have a 3D printer, so I don't have to butcher up a conduit box for a case. I can just make something. But let's see if we can do something with this. DC volts. I guess we should probably switch it to AC, but it's kind of twitching. Let's go to 1 volt. DC volts, 1 volt. Alright, let's do AC volts. AC 5 volts. That was a little crusty to get into. AC volts. Ugh, that did not feel good. That needs some cleaning. Wow. Are you okay? Alright, guess we'll see. It's trying. I don't know if you can see that it's trying to twitch. Alright. Don't we have micro, like really tiny volts? Let's see. DC microamps, 200 plus or minus millivolts. Let's see what this does. Oh, we're getting to somewhere. Let's flip the polarity. So we are on DC 200 millivolts scale. So it's not actually like 200 on here, so I'm guessing we'll be 0 to 200 millivolts, so 150, yeah, okay. Yeah. The light wasn't fucking blaring the damn thing. There you go. I'm trying to see it. The proper microphone might be a little different. It works better just because it's such low voltage. But that's cool. So AC volts works, or, well, we saw AC voltage working. DC microvolts works. I'm guessing this meter is fully functional. So that's pretty cool. Alright. So I guess my next goal on this is going to be to very carefully clean this up. I don't know if I want to use alcohol on it though. Does anybody know anything about this? The ink they used back then? Like, do you think? Like, I feel like I'm concerned about alcohol rubbing off because inks we use nowadays are so garbage that, like, you fart near them and they start to fade. Feeling like something this old is probably durable enough to clean with alcohol. But I feel like I should probably start with just water. Open for suggestions. I would start with dilute simple. Oof, I would. That I would probably try after alcohol, personally. But that's just because I've seen what it can do on the job. Because we use simple green to clean forklifts on the job, like the brand name stuff. I know that stuff's a little rough. But then again, I guess it's just a different kind of rough from isopropyl. Maybe I should dilute some isopropyl. No chemicals, okay. No idea, I'd be terrified of spoiling it raw, just soap and water. Yeah. Going out for smoke. Have fun, Lori. Alright. Well, I would say just in case, we'll go ahead and take that battery out. Actually, with the battery out, let's see if voltmeter still works, which I expect it would. As soon as I get all my shit back out, but that's fine. It's all part of testing. Because if the voltmeter works without electricity, which I suspect it does, then for demonstration purposes, we do not need to put a battery in this at all, which will just make it even safer. Let's see, we're at DC volts, 10 volt scale. That doesn't matter, that's all good. I don't want to spike the needle backwards. Alright, cool. So, if we do a cool little project, we'll be using DC volts, which is expected anyway, because most likely we'll be feeding an audio signal into it. So that's perfect. Whatever goofy thing we do for this, we don't need to actually supply it with power. Cool. Alright, so we'll leave that D cell over there. let's drop the zoom box. Oh, that's for the Bluetooth thing. What time is it? Yeah, it's getting around about that time to clean up. Well, shit, I guess while you're here, do you want me to go grab like a paper towel and see what we can do with this thing real quick? Glare is like rough. Well, I'm on this thing. Can I tell that exposure to chill the fuck out? Oh, that's just bad glare. That's a little better though. But auto wants to put it there. Alright, well, we'll just deal with that. We're not gonna need that. These we're good for. Smack the crap out of that. This guy I should keep away from cats. There are none. Alright, got some coffee. Alright, let me go get a moist paper towel and a dry paper towel real quick. Just to do a little area, see what happens here. One moment, please. Man, that cat box is looking rough. I'm gonna take care of that before I take a shower. Alright, this is a moist paper towel, just water. Seems like it's getting a lot of stuff up. I don't know if it's getting all of it, but it's getting a lot of it. I mean, if it'll get me, yeah, getting some of that crust off the lens. And if this will get me started, that's cool. I'd like to do this without taking apart the gauge. There's definitely some crust buildup around the edges though. I may have to hit that with like a little pick. Pretty sure that is real glass, so hitting it with a pick shouldn't be too bad. I'd like to see if I can find some replacement screws. Like, I don't know if you can see, but look, there's one good screw. This is not a factory screw. That's got half the head broke off, and that's got half the head broke off. Sheesh. Let's see. Let's see what we ended up with here. That definitely got a lot of shit off of it. Alright, let's see. This is really. Let's see. Okay, there, that's the better view, I guess. Is this zoomed? That's not zoomed in. The wood, I don't know what I'm going to do. I may sand and restain at some point. It's coming out pretty good. It's definitely getting a lot of it off. May need to employ a little bit of a mild soap, and I actually have the soap I use for woofle juice is currently an organic, like what's left of some organic soap from years ago. That should be it's pretty chemical free. It's mostly just like light oils and fragrance. I can give that a shot. Maybe come at some of these with a toothbrush because those letters are inset. But yeah, just that seems to be pretty good. Good for a start. So, definitely some scrapes and scoops and whatever's in there, but it's 79 years old. This is in pretty good shape. From what I understand, this was basically sitting at the same guy's workbench for a very, very long time until he retired and just left it there, and apparently it sat in a corner for another 20-30 years or something like that. And then my buddy got a hold of it somewhere in there, and now I have it. That's good for now. Looks pretty good. Not bad for a couple minutes with just some wet paper towel. Cool. I don't know, well, I guess I'll see if I can, like, that's felt. I can get a lint roller and just get the sheets of paper and just put that in there to get that out. Might as well put the... Actually, no, I'm going to leave the screws out. I think I'll deox this after this evening. I'll go ahead and deox it some. See if I can... This one, like, it switches pretty good, but over into AC it gets a little rough. So I'll hit these all with some deox, see what happens. These are all loose except for this one. Oh, okay, there it is. That one's got a little bit of a something going on. I'm guessing it was probably used a lot, so that might be just there's a boogie on the thread. These all seem pretty good. But yeah, I'll clean that up with deox, and I got to make sure I don't want to get any deox on the back, or I'm sorry, on the cabling, because I don't know what that would do. Sorry, let me turn that this way. Get Elwood's signature in there. You know, if it was just a little bit different, we could call it Excelsior, but just not quite enough there. It's got some wear on it. That's interesting. I guess that's on purpose. Yeah, I guess from when they were... Looks like it was in a press when they bent it. This guy worries me, but if I can't get anything with it, that's not that big a deal. But it does have a little access hole. I can put the deox into that. Here, I'll just kind of fill up the tube and let it just drip down some. Maybe just a tiny spritz in the base of these just to try and make it a little more lubricant, because I'm not taking these screws out. That'd be crazy. This works too well to want to disassemble to clean it. Plus, I mean, look, I can't. This is artwork. This is true industrial artwork. I'm gonna have to get some pictures of this too. I don't think I've gotten any yet. Alright. Let's see, what do we got up here in chitty chat? Well, if you can still buy the cloth covered wire for the test leads, yes. Depending on what I do with it, yeah, I may get a classy set of test leads for it. I don't think at any point I'm going to put the 15 volt battery in it. but I may get the classic test leads for it. Let's see. Mostly was Sangamo Weston during the wartime employed mostly women that got fired once in a while, so there's a good chance that's a woman's name. Okay. Alright. Okay, well. Could be Eleanor. Something shorter. Well, let's focus towards female names then. That's good. That's a good piece of knowledge there, Joe Russ. Thank you for that. So, let's see. Let's get this closer again. What are we thinking here? Like, do you think that was supposed to be an X? Or do you think that was supposed to be an L? Because it almost looks like the E kept going and the cross was added. Yeah. Oh, there's a good glare. It's a shame it's not anywhere else. Elvira? What do you do, Elvira? That's a cool name. Everybody likes that name. Plus, Elvira is kind of a classic. This is even more of a classic than she is, I believe. Yeah, so we'll go with Elvira, because it is a very good chance that a woman assembled this. Yeah, that's cool. Either way, no matter who it was, a very good job. And the supplier, very good job of supplying materials that will function at 79 years later. Cool. Alright. Let me flip this. I'll get pictures later. I don't want cats messing with it, though. It'll look good now that it's shined up. I think that was just like a little bit of old mold. I will do a little more to it, but not really much. I think I will do a little screwdriver, like, to get into these, because they are inset as well. Or screwdriver, a toothbrush. Whew, fucking screwdriver. I can fix it. Alright. Yeah, okay. So, that's, every time I think in my head we're going to do a short stream, it always lasts 2 hours anyway. Or the cell phone crashes and, you know, then it's a really short stream. Paper towel, I can go over there, coffee. So, let's, guess let's go ahead and clean it up, folks. I'm going to dump this stuff into here, so that I will promptly forget which drawer it was in. Yeah, I can actually see it in the front, so that's fine. Alright, everybody. I think we're going to call that a stream. And next week I will be somewhere with lots of signal. Thinking maybe the towers in Death Island. Like, I know we've been there a lot, but it's got really good signal. And when I was at Marshy Point a few weeks ago, I don't know that I got far enough out for you to see. They have torn pretty much everything down except for what is directly under the towers. Like, I don't think there's anything left. So we can always go over there, take a look, probably get kicked out or whatever, but maybe not. I don't know. There's really much more work going on there except for, like, sweeping up, waiting for it to go boom. Yeah, very good. Good work with the moderators today. Appreciate all the hard work you guys put in, and gals. Yes, cheers to Elvira here, and the work she has done to make such a quality meter. And I guess next week we'll probably, like I said, we'll probably do the towers, unless something comes up. But either way, I'm going to be somewhere where there's a lot of signal, and then we can try and figure out what's going on. I'm also going to, instead of trying to broadcast at 1080 while I'm mobile, I'll go back to 720, see if that helps shed the load a little bit, because I don't know why everything's starting to overheat when it never had a problem before, even last summer. So thanks everyone for the nods towards the good stream, and yeah, we'll go for a fly next week, see what's going on somewhere somehow, and go from there. So thanks for stopping by. See everyone next week. And cheers to you, folks. That's right. What did I say? I was going to click stop. Oh, stop streaming on OBS. That's what I clicked last time, wasn't it? Pretty sure. So we'll do that, and then we'll see what breaks. So, see everyone later. I'll be on Big Clive Discord later on. And yeah, be groovy everyone. Cheers and have a good rest of your weekend. 3, 2, 1, and